Hello, my friends. Simon Miller here, and I have decided I am the man to solve wrestling's greatest mysteries. Because back in February 2016, when Vince and Stephanie McMahon were having a big love-a-thon in the middle of a ring, all of a sudden, "Here comes the money" hit, and everybody lost their minds. So I was one of these people because one, I was cooking eggs and I dropped them all over the floor, but also two, I kid you not, on a podcast a couple of weeks before this, I had joked, I bet Shane McMahon is going to come back. Now listen, I didn't mean that at all, I was just being a dick. Bet your ass I rode that train for a while. I don't even think there was a hint of this at the time because the rumor had always been that Vince had fallen out with Shane, mostly because Shane wanted a bigger slice of the company pie and soon realized, wait a minute, I don't think I'm going to get it. The two had definitely butted heads too because McMahon Jr. had pitched all of his ideas, one of which was that ECW, the WWE version, should be an online internet show only, and two, that Vince should buy the UFC. Maybe he was actually ahead of his time. So I would imagine being told no all the time made him go, man, I can't be bothered with this anymore, which is why he did go and do his own thing, when from nowhere, flubbed me sideways, the dude came back. It moved Shane to tears, he was so taken aback by how loud this reaction was. Then it kind of got funny, because his first feud was going to be with The Undertaker. I mean, of course it was. So this goes to show having your daddy in charge is always going to help out, which sounds terrible out of context, when all of a sudden, we started to add some stipulations in, to which today, we still don't understand the ramifications of. So picture the scene, father and son are getting mad at each other, as is Stephanie McMahon, because she is like, why are you back, Shane? You're not allowed a piece of this pie, because if anyone's getting anything, it's me, where's my cheese? Now it did work in the sense Shane-O got what he asked for, control of Monday Night Raw, if he could defeat The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania 32. I mean, I would have just given up right there. He wasn't going to have it totally his own way, though, because if Vince McMahon was right and the Phenom beat him, Shane McMahon would have to give him back a lockbox that contained a deep, dark secret. Even at the time, I was like, well, where did that come from? Now, today that has a whole new meaning, but Shane did agree to this, that indeed, if he was defeated, he would return this to his dad, and they shall never speak of it again. That last bit, well, you should take that literally. And as you would expect too, it led to rampant speculation as to what the flub was in this thing. I mean, was it Shane's stake in the company? Was it the truth about who the real higher power was? Was it the secrets about whether or not Vince McMahon wore a wig? Was it who threw the pie into Kevin Owens' face? We all wanted to know. Now yes, to be fair, Millie McMahon did lose that match at Mania 32, so per the storyline, there was no need to actually reveal this. But given that WWE is a weekly episodic TV series, that, my friend, is ridiculous. As is this. Because any good writer will tell you, if you do have a humdinger of a twist like that, you can't then piss off your audience by not telling them what it is, because by that logic, you can just come up with whatever you want and then go, man, don't worry about it. It also means eventually your fans will have zero investment in your product, because they'll know not to get emotionally tied to anything, because again, they ain't getting anything back. Furthermore, on that Raw after WrestleMania, Vince still went, shrug emoji, sure Shane, you can be the new general manager of Raw. So we'd ignored one stipulation, but the one that had so much more intrigue, well, here we are in 2024, and we still have no flipping clue. So that actually bit WWE in the ass more, because logically, you would have figured both of these out, but again, we just didn't. Now there is a potential huge reason as to why WWE never did this. As always, we head to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Now, it is all just hearsay as always, but Dave Meltzer said, well, the only reason the lockbox was ever introduced is because on live television, Vince McMahon forgot what he was going to say, and in a little bit of a panic just went, oh yeah, I want that lockbox back. And the whole thing fell down the tubes. This, of course, meant that the whole company had to figure out what to do later. And I suppose they did do that, and the answer was nothing. Now, doing this, especially in the world of professional wrestling, is the biggest faux pas, because you should never introduce anything to a narrative unless you know what the ending is. I mean, it's like the Black Scorpion, that still annoys people. Can even tie it into the higher power too that we've already talked about. Do you want to know why that was Vince McMahon? It's because they hadn't figured out who it was going to be, so when it got to the night in question, Vince just went, I'll be it. So it meant when the chairman of the board did have possession of this again, he put it in a safe, never to be talked of again. So we need to get in that damn safe. I mean, the problem is just that is so lame. Like, it's so pathetic and it's so uncreative. I mean, at worst, just come up with something, even if it's redonkulous. You just had people groaning here, and you never want anyone doing guesswork. I mean, just go, oh my gosh, it's a dead body. I mean, that would have been so stupid, but it's better than this. There's also a big question mark over Vince's head, and it ties into a big question that was leveled at him for years. Sure, he doesn't have to answer to anybody, but he, of all people, should know if we're going to try and create something here with depth, you don't just throw it out on live television. I mean, by that point, why don't you just pull down your pants? You get attention that way too, but it's not worth it. I mean, if he forgets his lines too, why couldn't he have just gone, I'm Vince McMahon, damn it? I mean, he said that for about 20 years. So in terms of an unsolved mystery, yep, you are never going to get the answer to this one, because first and foremost, it was almost 10 years ago, which is absolutely terrifying, and now Vince McMahon isn't controlling creative anymore. And Triple H is going to wake up one day and go, oh, I know what I want to do. So we have to file this one under absolute gooberish. Until the day we die, we are never going to know. The good news, however, is that because there has been a power shift, hopefully we will never have to go through this again, and we will get to the endings of our tales. Listen, I'm a massive nerd, I'm a massive geek. This stuff keeps me up at night sometimes. I mean, why do you think I'm dressed like this? Is this the way a normal human being behaves? No, I'm totally unhinged because of wrestling unsolved mysteries. Hello, it's me, I'm back. I forgot to talk about something, hence why I've changed. I'm no longer a detective, but I suppose we are going outside of the realms of the main story. What a lot of people don't mention when we do talk about this crazy Shane McMahon and Vince McMahon stuff is that Stephanie McMahon was directly involved at the start. She was like, brother, why have you come back? You haven't been anywhere. I've been busting my ass. And by the time we got to WrestleMania 32, Steph was just like, shrug emoji. I'm now going to go off with my husband, Triple H, because he's the brand new champion, and he's taking on Roman Reigns, and he's going to lose, so I better be there. I think that's the one when they came out looking like He-Man. Although Triple H does that a lot. But it just goes to show there was no forward thinking, there was no plan here, and we kind of just took elements and we fit them in wherever we could. That's why it did end so ridiculous, and I'm repeating myself now, with Vince just going, yeah, you can be the GM of Raw, Shane-O. And if that was always going to be the culmination, well, it's amazing we did anything. It also begs the question, why the hell were Shane McMahon and The Undertaker put in the Hell in a Cell to begin with? Nobody told us that, and why did The Undertaker care? Why did The Undertaker care about Shane McMahon, about the Lockbox, about the McMahon family? He should have been like, I ain't doing your bidding. Whole thing was a total farce. Right, now let's go back to my original ending. Now with that on board, make sure you click the video on the screen, which is 10 wrestler quirks you'll never be able to unsee, so I'll ruin your day for you there as well. And also, leave me a comment below. Maybe we can do more of these unsolved mysteries, but I need to know in what direction to head. What am I doing? Also, make sure to like the video, share the video, and subscribe. And if you are watching wrestling, take everything with a pinch of salt. Because you think you're getting an ending, but 9 times out of 10, you absolutely won't. Goodbye.